So this is the 2019 Toyota Corolla. I rented this past weekend from Hertz Rent-A-Car. Yeah, so from Hertz Rent-A-Car, and I did that, I arranged that rental through Priceline for this past weekend. And I mean, I must say, out of all the cars that I've rented in the last 4 months, and I've rented my fair share, the Toyota Corolla, I'd have to say, is probably my favorite. I mean, I don't have any major complaints about this car at all. The acceleration is good. It's adequate for what I need it to do, like accelerating with merging with highway traffic and all that stuff. It holds the road okay. The handling is fine. The climate control is great. Like, it heats, like this car heats up very quickly. And if I remember correctly, I think I might have driven this in the summertime as well too. And it cools down very quickly in hot weather. I guess the two minor complaints I have about it, the leg space is not bad. Like, I wouldn't mind a little bit more leg space. Like, I mean, I was pretty comfortable in this car. Like, I drove this car from London to St. Catharines yesterday, which is a distance of, I'd say, about 200 kilometers. I drove it from St. Catharines to Peterborough as well too. And I'd say St. Catharines to Peterborough, that's probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 230 to 250 kilometers. Let's say maybe around 240 kilometers. And I've just finished driving it back home from Peterborough to London, which is a little over 300 kilometers. I'm going to guess maybe around 310, 320 kilometers. And I mean, I've been comfortable enough in it and all that. But the thing I notice, like as I said, this is a 2019 Corolla. I've also driven a 2020 Corolla. I rented a 2020 Corolla. I believe it was back in September or maybe October that I rented a 2020 Corolla. I did a review on this channel back in September or October when I rented it. And I found the 2020 Corolla, I remember it having more leg space. Like, I was able to put the seat right back and stretch my legs right out. So I kind of wish this had the space of the 2020 Corolla. And the other couple of minor things I notice about it too that I wouldn't mind having in it. This car, I've noticed, only has one USB port and one auxiliary port. The majority of other cars that I've rented over the last 4 months have had at least two USB ports and also two auxiliary ports as well too. This one I've only been able to find one in. I guess I didn't feel like going through the owner's manual to look to see if there's a second auxiliary port hiding somewhere and a second USB port hiding somewhere. But I mean, I checked the usual spots. Like, for example, I checked in the armrest, because sometimes they'll put them in the bottom of the armrest and there isn't there's no additional ports that I've been able to find down here in the armrest. The same with the back of the center console armrest. I haven't been able to find them. So yeah, I wouldn't mind another USB port and another auxiliary port as well too, because sometimes, Like, I like being able to plug in. It's nice when I can plug in 2 of my phones at a time to charge up. Yeah, I'm just taking a look here, and yeah, there's no additional ports in there. So apart from that, like, I'm quite happy with this car. And talking about minor differences between the 2019 and 2020 Corolla. So the 2020 Corolla does have some more leg space than the 2019 Corolla. The 2020 Corolla, I could be mistaken. I can't remember if the 2020 Corolla had 2 USB ports and 2 auxiliary ports. It's possible that it might. And also another difference I noticed with between the 2019 and 2020 Corolla, this one has an e-brake, has a regular e-brake, emergency brake that you just pull up like right here, that you have to pull up separately from the parking brake. Whereas with the 2020 Corolla, if I remember correctly, there's a little, it's just a little button that acts as the e-brake. And it's a matter of fact, in the 2020 Corolla, whenever you put it in park, the e-brake automatically engages. And once you take it out of park, the e-brake automatically comes off. And I think that button for the e-brake in the 2020 is probably just an emergency button for in case the foot brake fails, then you can use that e-brake to stop it in an emergency. Now, I mean, I've driven numerous types of vehicles, everything from Mercedes, everything from a smart car right up to a 5-ton freight truck. I've never experienced brake failure in my life, so brake failure is very rare. But in the rare instance that you do experience brake failure, yeah, you do get, that's what the e-brake is for. So there's that, the difference in the e-brake. Also, I noticed the dashboard in the 2020 is a little bit more informative as well, too. Like in the 2019, like, you just get the standard dashboard that, you know, you get your speedometer and your fuel gauge and your tachometer and your temperature gauge, and it tells you what the temperature is outside, that kind of thing. And how, of course, how many kilometers you have on it. If I remember in the 2020 Corolla, I could be mistaken, but if I'm remembering correctly, in the 2020 Corolla, A, it tells you how many kilometers you have left in that particular tank of gas. B, I think it also gives you an idea of your fuel economy, like how much fuel you're consuming. And the other thing I noticed too is the dashboard layout is a little bit different between the 2019 and 2020 Corolla. The dashboard layout and appearance is a little bit different. Apart from that, they're pretty similar cars. I don't notice any difference on the exterior, like with the headlights and taillights and everything. But as I say, you know, I love Toyotas. Besides renting Toyotas, I've owned Toyotas before. They're excellent cars. As long as you maintain them properly, like change the fluids and all that kind of thing, do your scheduled maintenance, they will pretty much last you forever. So on a scale of 1 to 10, I would give this car a 9 out of 10. It's got all your usual features. Like, one of the features that's kind of cool, of course, is the automatic headlights. So you just turn the headlight switch to the auto position, and the lights will just turn on and off automatically without you having to turn them on and off whenever you turn the engine on and off. It's got automatic high beams as well, too, where if it's dark enough, the high beams will come on by themselves. And whenever the high beams sense the headlights or tail lights of another vehicle ahead of you, then it will automatically turn off the high beams. The sound system is decent as well too. It's okay. It's nothing to write home about, but it's nothing to complain about either. It's got the Bluetooth. It's got some of your usual... Oh, another feature that I like about it too. Well, it's got traction control. Another feature that I like, it's got heated windshield and heated windshield wipers. So basically, I guess what that does is if you get snow, ice, or frost on your windshield and your windshield wipers, it will heat your windshield and heat your windshield wipers. Like, yes, it's got a defogger as well too that will also heat up the windshield and heat the side windows. But the heated windshield and the heated wipers, that's just an added feature that I guess will do the trick faster. I think it's got heated seats as well too. And the fuel economy, I can't complain about the fuel economy. You know, it's been pretty good on gas. And I think it's got either somewhere between a 50 and a 55 liter gas tank. And I was right down and empty to the point that the gas light was on as well too. And I read in the manual that the gas light comes on in this car, I think once you get down to around 7 liters of gas left in your tank. So the gas light was on. It was pretty much down and empty or very close to it. And it took me $38.15 to fill this car up at the time. And I believe gas was... It was right around $1 a liter. I think $1 or $1.01 per liter. So yeah, it's also pretty good on gas as well too. So anyways, yeah, I'd give this car a 9 out of 10. And if I were in the market for a mid-size car, this is a car I would definitely give serious thought to. If I were looking for a mid-size car, for me it would come down between the Toyota Corolla, the Honda Civic, and Mazda. I think it would be the Mazda 3, I guess, is their mid-size car. I think the Mazda 6 is closer to being a full-size car. But yeah, the Toyota Corolla is definitely a car I would be considering if I were looking for a mid-size car. It's reasonably priced. Very, very reliable car. You know, if you do your scheduled maintenance, like your fluids and the brakes and that kind of thing, follow the recommended scheduled maintenance according to the owner's manual. This car will pretty much last you forever. Like, I've heard about people driving Toyotas till they have on over 1 million kilometers on them. And I've heard about some people in the States driving their Toyotas until they have on over 1 million miles on them. 1 million miles is about 1.6 million kilometers. So yeah, definitely a car I'd recommend. If you get the opportunity to drive one, I would say go for it. Take it out for a spin. You might like it as well too.